What would you do with an extra 26 hours a month? Because that's what our average freezer stackers get back. 26 hours.
And what if you didn't have to decide what to make for dinner? Not tonight, not tomorrow night, not for the next 2 weeks. Or if you're like Charlotte and I, maybe not for the next couple of months. And today we are going to show you how we're going to get there.
Our plan is to make over 100 freezer meals, and we are going to take you along with us and show you exactly how we get this done. Whether you've been doing freezer meals for years or you've never even heard of this strange concept before, by the end of this video, you are going to look at dinner time completely differently. This is going to be a huge adventure, and we are taking you along for all of it. In this video, we're going to be sharing our best tips for batch cooking. These tips are gonna save you so much time and just help the whole process run more smoothly. We're also gonna be sharing some money saving tips for those grocery bills to be a lot lower and just for your food costs in general to go down. So let's get into it.
Our first tip is to get all of your ingredients out so you are ready to go. Our second tip is work with one protein at a time. It helps with cross-contamination, it makes things go faster. We are going to start with our raw chicken recipes, and what's great about that is some of them have similar ingredients, although they have still a great variety. It just makes things go faster when, you know, you have the tub of garlic sitting right there and we can both use it. It just goes so fast.
And the first two recipes that we are making both use gochujang paste. And they are Korean inspired recipes. So since we have to take the gochujang paste out anyway, we might as well make multiple recipes with it. It saves us time and allows us not to have food waste because we can use the whole tub. We might be going through multiple tubs today actually.
This recipe is Korean chicken. When we started using gochujang paste, it just kind of opened up this whole new world for a spice profile that we had no idea about. And it makes great chicken wings, which we have a recipe for. We have the Korean chicken. We have a lot of Korean recipes, and we have a couple today that have the gochujang paste. So this is the first one that we're talking about here. And it starts out with a bowl, and we're going to make our sauce. In the bowl, we put in low sodium soy sauce, the gochujang paste, some honey, brown sugar, sesame oil, rice wine or sake, some fresh ginger, and minced garlic. We're going to mix that around in our bowl, and then we're going to take a half cup measuring cup and put a half cup of that sauce into a medium quart-size freezer bag, seal that up, and then the remaining can go over the chicken in a large freezer bag. Mix that around to coat the chicken evenly and get the excess air out, seal it up, staple those bags together above the seal, and then lay flat to freeze. These are great to be cooked up on the barbecue. You could do the air fryer, you could do a skillet, and then you have that extra sauce there for dipping or for basting.
I know we just made the Korean chicken, and this one is very similar, which is good because we can use the ingredients that are already out. But it is a brand new to us recipe, and we are excited to try it. This is gochujang chicken sandwiches, and for me, I'm hoping that it sort of combines the best of the Korean chicken recipe with something like our hot honey chicken sandwiches, because then we can get those amazing Korean inspired flavors, but on a bun. So for this, we've got our chicken thighs in our bag. We're gonna add in some low sodium chicken broth, low sodium soy sauce, some gochujang paste, sesame oil, rice vinegar, brown sugar, minced garlic just from the jar, minced ginger from the squeezy tube, and a little bit of cornstarch. This one cooks up in the slow cooker and gets served on buns with coleslaw or Asian slaw. Can't wait to try it. We love a sheet pan recipe because it's super easy cleanup. Everything is ready at the same time because it cooks all on one sheet. And because it cooks all on one sheet, there are less dishes. This one is a brand new one that we're experimenting with. It is a Moroccan chicken sheet pan. Into our bag, we've got our boneless, skinless chicken thighs. Then we're adding in some cubed sweet potato, some cauliflower florets, purple onion in large chunks, some peeled and sliced carrots, some minced garlic, olive oil, cumin, turmeric, cinnamon, a bit of cayenne pepper, salt, and pepper. We're gonna shake that up in the bag to combine it. This one is so pretty. It's got beautiful colors, although it does look a little bit like a fall recipe with the colors that it has. So if this one is good, if it meets our standards and makes it into the Freezer Meals 101 Club, then this is one that I would definitely be making again in the fall just because of the colors and the flavors too. Before we get too far into the recipes, let's talk about why freezer cooking works. Time. We alluded to this earlier, but members of the Freezer Meals 101 Club save 26 hours a month. What would you do with 26 hours a month? That is a significant amount of time, and you can get that back just by changing how you cook. The reason is simple. When you cook in bulk, everything is more efficient. You're only getting the cutting board out once. You're only washing the dishes once. A big one for us, because we live in the country and the grocery store is not half a block away, is we're not running to the grocery store all the time. We go at most once a week to the grocery store instead of running 3 times a week because you forgot ingredients or because you hadn't thought of what to make for dinner tonight and you have to get something on the table.
What's more is when we go to the grocery store, we're really just picking up our produce and our dairy, the perishables. It just saves so much time that way too. Those in-between grocery shops are actually pretty fast.
And I know I'm giving away the next thing that freezer meals are great at, but that also saves money.
It totally saves money and it all adds up. Just like those minutes and minutes and minutes add up to save time, those pennies add up and they save a lot of money. That is the other big reason that we do freezer meals. Members of the Freezer Meals 101 Club are saving on average $200 a month. That is $2,400 a year. Let that sink in for a minute.
And that's not even including if they were doing delivery apps or drive-thrus or convenience foods before.
That is just the literal grocery number. Now, if you are a large family, you're going to save more. If you are a single person household, you're spending less. You're going to save a little bit less than $200 a month. But
although we have several one-person households that are saving more than $200 because of the whole I was ordering in before, I was picking up convenience foods, I was getting the drive-through, the dreaded drive-through.
Absolutely, and it's no shock that grocery prices have been skyrocketing lately, and we constantly see it in social media. How do you save money? What are you doing to get to the end of the month before you get to the end of your money? And freezer meals are a big answer to that, and it absolutely has saved us thousands over the years.
We have a larger family, and our family has every year consistently saved thousands and thousands of dollars, and we continue to save thousands of dollars to the point where if I did the math over the 20 plus years that I've been doing freezer meals, like that is a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, and all the things that we can buy with it instead of having to spend it on groceries. We have a club member named Zoe who has cut her food budget by 60%. 60%! Could you imagine how much money that's putting in the pocket of your family?
But by far, our favorite thing about freezer meals is that it takes away the mental load and the decision fatigue. I think this is the most underrated part of freezer meals. People talk about the time you save, people talk about the money you save, but for me, it has always been that what's for dinner question. And when I used to have to worry about what's for dinner, I didn't have a good answer to that question most days. And I would realize, like, we kind of jokingly call it the 4 p.m. dinner dread, because it was right around 4 p.m. that I would realize that I didn't have a plan for dinner. And it was kind of like every day it was a surprise that I had to think of dinner again. Like, you would think I would, by day like 1000 or whatever, I would have figured out.
They need to eat every single day.
Right? But it really was. It was like a surprise. Like, oh, I forgot again, right? I didn't make a plan again. Or worse, I had made a meal plan and I had it all written down, but those good intentions went moldy in my crisper. That would be the produce. So thankfully, I discovered freezer meals way back when my kids were little, and I was able to stop feeling like that mom that was failing at feeding my kids. And I was able to start feeling like there was one part of my life where I actually had it together. So if you kind of have that yucky feeling when you hear what's for dinner, or like that 4 p.m. dinner dread, then freezer meals might be the solution for you. When your freezer is stacked, that question is already answered. You're not deciding, you're not scrambling, you're not running out to the store for last minute ingredients, you are not going through the drive-thru and then feeling guilty about it later. You are not negotiating with a bunch of hungry people who are all have different opinions while you're trying to find the right ingredients, because the answer is already in your freezer. One of our club members, Rebecca, told us that after joining, her family started eating together at the table again. And for us, that means so much to hear that this is making a difference in the lives of families. And actually we hear that all the time, which we loved. Keep sending us the emails. Keep sending us the comments, because really, we love hearing that and we've experienced it ourselves. If it sounds like we are trying to convince you to join the Freezer Meals 101 Club, we are.
It's true. It's true. We have a secret agenda here. It's not a secret at all. It's one of the best things that has ever happened to our lives and to many of our club members' lives.
When we first started doing freezer meals, we would post a picture on Facebook of the finished freezer. So beautiful. And we'd get so many questions like, how do you do that?
What meals did you make? How long did it take you? Well, how do you do the math on that? Would you come to my house and do it for me?
We got that one a lot.
We draw the line. This is as best as we can get.
So we came up with a system. It is called the Freezer Meals 101 Club. It takes the guesswork out of freezer cooking. And yes, it has access to our over 500 tried and true recipes in there, but that isn't the thing. What it does is it allows you to create your custom meal plans, and it prints off your shopping list, your prep list, your printable labels with the cooking instructions and the date on them. Thank you, Christy. And it has monthly live cooking classes so that you can cook right along with us. You come into my kitchen and we are here. It is a lot of fun, but it also helps keep you accountable. It helps you keep your freezer stacked, and it puts you in pretty much the best community, the most supportive, encouraging, lovely community on the planet. I mean, we're a little biased, but
we are a
truly.
little biased, but I kind of feel like we've curated it. We have attracted some very nice people. And what else is great about the cooking classes is you have access to us. You can ask those questions. Hey, what can I substitute for this? Or, you know, how can I do this in the air fryer because I'm doing construction in my kitchen and I won't be able to use my oven for a while?
Or how do I adapt this to cook for one or two? We have probably close to half of our club members are cooking for one or two people rather than a larger household. So we actually show you in those cooking classes how to do that. The reason we are talking about it so passionately today is that the price of the club is going up on June 25th, and we want you to join before that happens, because when you lock in your price, it stays forever. That is your price. And if you are already a club member, whatever price you joined at, that is yours. It's like legacy pricing. It just stays forever and ever. So we do want to encourage you, if you've kind of been on the fence, if you've been considering but not really sure, then go. The link is in the description below. Check it out today and join before the price goes up. And if you join while you're watching this video, please leave us a comment below. We would love to welcome you personally. Okay, let's get back to the recipes. I am so excited for what we have to show you.
This next recipe is the sheet pan garlic ginger chicken and vegetables, which is a bit of a mouthful. So the next time you see this recipe, it might have a newer, more exciting name that is more concise. But in the meantime, this looks and sounds delicious and I can't wait to try it. It's a brand new recipe to us. And we start out with our sauce. We're going to mix it in a bowl. We're adding in some low sodium soy sauce, some water, a bit of white vinegar, olive oil, fresh ginger, we just like the squeezy tube ginger, and some minced garlic, and a little bit of honey. We're going to mix that around in our bowl, and then in a large freezer bag, we're going to add chicken strips and some frozen broccoli, or you could use fresh if you would like, and then some red pepper cut into large chunks. There maybe is a bit of orange pepper in there too, and that's totally okay. We're going to have that in the bag. We're going to add in a half cup of this sauce, mix it around in the bag, and the remainder of the sauce that's in the bowl is going to go into a medium-sized freezer bag. Get the air out of both those bags, get it stapled together and into your freezer. This one is a sheet pan meal. You're going to put the big bag on the sheet pan. You're going to simmer that sauce on the side, and you can drizzle it over after. Serve it with rice. This is going to be so good.
This zesty chili lime chicken is just a simple chicken marinade. It's a new recipe, but it sounds like it's going to be really tasty. We've got our boneless, skinless chicken thighs in the bag. We're adding in some olive oil, some fresh lime zest, some lime juice from that lime, minced garlic, honey, chili powder, cumin, smoked paprika, oregano, salt, and pepper. We're gonna mush that all together to coat the chicken. We're gonna get our air out, we're gonna seal it, and we're gonna get that in the freezer. I don't know if we've mentioned it yet, but when it comes to freezer cooking, air is what causes your freezer burn. So you just wanna make sure that you get as much air out of those bags as you can, and that will ensure they stay fresh for the longest.
We have Bang Bang salmon. And so we figured this is gonna work for the chicken. These are Bang Bang chicken skewers, and my goodness, does this look good. Into our bag, we have cubed raw chicken. We're going to add in some plain Greek yogurt, olive oil, lime juice, minced garlic, some paprika, red pepper flakes, and finish it off with the Thai chili sauce. We're going to mix it around right in the bag, get the excess air out, seal it up, get it in the freezer. When you go to cook this, you are going to have your bamboo skewers soaked and ready to go. You can thread your chicken onto them, cook it in the barbecue, in the oven. You could skip the skewers and do this in the air fryer. I think this is going to be a winner.
We are making a really good headway on the chicken and so much variety so far.
Oh yeah, and the flavors, like this kitchen smells so good.
Yes, it does. My hands smell like lime juice because I was zesting and squeezing those limes. It's not a bad thing.
Mine smell like garlic, which isn't a great thing, but it's still a nice smell. It's okay.
It is what it is. So we thought we would pop in and share some more tips with you. I don't know, we maybe should have shared this one first, to be honest, but that is that we always suggest that you do your prep a day ahead. We did our shopping and prep yesterday, and it just makes everything go so much faster. We do have a prep video. This one is like very, very basic. We didn't go through step by step by step, but just some general things about prep. So I'll pop that right up there. And that was literally like as we were getting ready yesterday, so you can kind of see the steps that we took. But one of the things that prep does, other than makes it so that you're just throwing things in bags because they're already all chopped and ready, is that if you have things where you have to brown them, like we did our ground beef and our cooked rice, things like that, that allows them to cool in the fridge overnight so that they're not going into your bags warm or hot. We're going to talk more about that later and the reason that you don't want to do that. But for now, we just want to say, if you do your prep ahead, it makes things go faster and it makes it so it's a little easier on your body.
Yes, it does. And a few months ago, we had a Fill Your Freezer challenge where we invited everybody to come and make meals with us. And we showed you basically step by step of what we're doing today. And we made the mention of breaking up your prep day and your assembly day. And we even had some seasoned club members who commented and said, you know, I've never done that, and what a difference it makes.
Yes, and they'd heard us say it before, but they had just thought, I'll just do it all on the same day. Like, not a big thing.
Yes, but by following the steps of the challenge, we kind of not forced them, but it really sent it home that you should break those days up. And yes, it made such a huge difference.
The next tip is enlist help. It is obviously way more fun to do it with a friend, but you can also get help from other people.
Yes, you can. Charlotte and I have been making these meals together for, we figured, about 14 years, and alone before that. And my son is 16 years old. He was 2 years old when we started coming into this kitchen every 3 months or so. And Charlotte's kids are older, and it was great to just snag one and say, here, open these cans. And they loved it because they got to help, they got to stir things, they got to be a part of it and then carry on.
Your son loved the electric can opener. As soon as he was old enough to operate that thing, he was like, sign me up.
Yes, and now he helps me chop onions because he likes to use the chopper. Yes, and he wasn't around yesterday. He's growing up and now he has his own social life. So here I was chopping my onions by myself, missing him.
And today we have my mom here helping. She is awesome. She often helps when we do our mega sessions. I feel like I should tell you, like, get your own Charla's mom. People have asked if they can order one on Amazon, but
we can't fit her into the box.
No, she is so awesome and such a huge help. And she does things like dishes or opening cans or finding cans. We do set things out ahead, the things that we bought just yesterday, but if we have things that were already here in the pantry, we don't necessarily take them out. So she's like kind of like a runner, like
a little bit,
you know.
I've already sent her to my house to go get cauliflower because I forgot to bring it. It's so great to have that person.
An extra pair of hands.
1 year, my daughter ferried. So what happens is we put my food, because we're at Charlotte's house, we put my food in a cooler outside. And then when it gets full enough where it would be uncomfortable to lift, I take it home and I put it into my freezer. I empty the cooler. I come back and we carry on. Just the fact that my daughter was here ferrying the food over to my freezer was such a time saver. What wasn't a time saver was sorting it out in my freezer after, because she was not as
systematic
or as neat and tidy. So I would go and have to kind of sort things, but that's okay. It saves so much time here.
And my daughter, my middle daughter, who is in culinary school, helped me so much with prep yesterday. And we did a little more prep than we usually do for this freezer meal challenge. Just, you know, with summer coming, I wanted a lot of vegetables, a lot of really fresh tasting things. And so we had like raw chicken that was in strips or cubed. We had cooked chicken that needed to be cooked and cubed. We had bacon that she did up, turkey, ground sausage, but mostly vegetables. So many vegetables, and she's so much faster than I am.
Yes, she's been taught.
Yes.
That is nice to have.
She knows the right way, whereas I just know a way. I have been wanting to make this honey harissa chicken for months, maybe more than 6 months, but I couldn't find the harissa paste anywhere. I kind of got desperate enough that I was thinking of ordering it online, and then it occurred to me there's this one grocery store in our area that carries more international foods. So I asked my mom if she could stop by. My mom, in addition to helping us with dishes and helping me with our youngest, and actually she's helped so much with all of our kids. She is an amazing grandma. She also loves to run errands. This is not something that I inherited from her. I am a little bit the opposite. And she's friendly and like talks to people when she's out. I'm friendly too, but not to the, like, she loves going to Costco. Not something I have. Anyway, she went to this specialty store for me, got us some harissa paste so we can finally try to make this chicken, and we've got another recipe coming up later that also uses the harissa paste. Hopefully we like it. We gave it a smell, and Christy and I both are like, kind of reminded us of this one restaurant that we've been to before. It's a Turkish restaurant, and it was reminiscent of that restaurant. So anyway, into our bag, we've got our boneless, skinless chicken thighs. We're gonna add in some harissa paste, honey, olive oil, lemon juice, cinnamon, and salt. Nice and simple, but hopefully with an amazing flavor profile. This one can be cooked up in the skillet, in the oven, or on the barbecue. These blackened Cajun chicken bites are gonna be so nice to have for summer because you can put them on top of a Caesar salad. You can put them in wraps. You can put them in, what else can you put these in? I don't know. Oh, they are so good on top of Alfredo pasta, or you can make them into those little adult Lunchables where you cook up your chicken and you have them with some nuts and some fruit, maybe some cheese, and you just have them to go. Maybe you're going on a road trip and you want to take them along. These are so flavorful and simple to make. So we've got our raw cubed chicken in our freezer bag. We're gonna add in some olive oil, salt, pepper, dry onion or onion powder, garlic powder, oregano, basil, thyme, and cayenne pepper. Give that a shake, get out your air, seal it, and these ones just cook up really quickly in a skillet. BBQ Shredded Chicken is a delicious 5-ingredient recipe that comes together super quickly. You're gonna add your boneless, skinless chicken breasts, or in this case, we're using thighs, into your freezer bag. You're gonna add in some minced onion, minced garlic, some barbecue sauce, and cider vinegar. Just mix that all together in your bag and get your air out and seal it. This one cooks up in the slow cooker or the Instant Pot. You shred it and serve it on buns with coleslaw and garlic mayo, and it is amazing. If you've watched our YouTube channel before, then you may have heard the expression, done is better than perfect.
We do say it a lot, and we say air is the enemy. Can I show them my shirt?
Oh yes, definitely.
It says air is the enemy. My friend in Saskatoon made this for me. Actually, she made us each one, and it was just, it's nice and soft, and I'm like, oh, today's mega session, I'll wear it.
And it matches your apron so well.
I know, it works really well. And so, yeah, we do have some sayings, and done is better than perfect is honestly impactful, not just in freezer meals, it is impactful in my whole life.
And I know that, yes, we have a lot of experience doing this, and we are faster, and we know the tricks, but we never have a freezer meal mega marathon thing that goes exactly smoothly. There's always something where we have to substitute an ingredient because even as organized as we are, we're missing something. Or we open something and realize, this is not something
we're not
we
using
can use.
this today.
So
I just asked Charla a few weeks ago, I was making paneer curry and I accidentally put vanilla yogurt instead of plain Greek yogurt in, that they were side by side, and I just grabbed the wrong one. And I thought, this is going to affect the taste. It's an Indian dish. Do you think I could put some lime in it or an acid in it to cut the sweet? Because you do it the opposite. You would put sweet in to cut the acid. And we figured it was maybe a good way to do it. So I haven't had it yet. I've been avoiding I've been avoiding
I
it.
think you can totally fix it.
I think it'll be totally fine. But again, done is better than perfect. It is done. It is not perfect. We'll eat it anyway, and it'll be great.
And even for this mega session, we were saying earlier about doing your prep ahead, and that's always ideal. And it's always ideal to get it completely and utterly done before you start. But
it's been raining cats and dogs here for a few days. We've had a month's worth of rain over about 3 days, and our basement got wet. And I was home by myself. My husband was at work, and I just heard it running. The sump pump kept running, and our septic was overwhelmed, and it was just flooding in our basement. Not septic, but just the sump pump couldn't keep up. And so I am dealing with a flood, and that was the day I was going to shop. And then there was no shopping that day, which then meant, and I don't like to do the shopping and the assembly in the same day if I can help it, because shopping can take hours. And then I come home and then there's hours of prep to do. And I just couldn't. We had to deal with this flood. So I did my shopping and my prep yesterday, and I had a band parent meeting in the middle of that. So I had to, it's disruptive. I wasn't even able to get started until I kept the rice by accident. So I had to drop I can pick the rice up at your house. It's not in my house. It's in my car, and I'm at school. So done is better than perfect. But because of freezer meals, we ate very well when we were still having the flood, because I had a Mississippi pot roast.
oh, yum.
And it was in there for a long time. It was still perfect. It was perfect.
And that is just the kind of meal you want on a bad day. It's like comforting and hearty, and you've been working hard.
Yes.
And yeah, so not everything always goes exactly to plan, but you can still do this. Over the years, we have had a lot of things
Oh, yeah, we have.
go awry. We sometimes have appointments that we have to work around. And so one of us ducks out to an appointment while the other one stays in my kitchen and keeps making meals. We've had a chipped tooth.
Yes, that happened. And I had an emergency dental appointment. What are you going to do? I couldn't show up with a chipped tooth.
Well, you couldn't be in pain like that.
It was painful. Yeah, they needed to fix it.
We've done, I think, 2 mega sessions when I had my torn rotator cuff.
I had to leave early one time to go to a funeral. I had 2 funerals that week.
It's true.
It was a rough one. But freezer meals, that's why they're so important too, because that's just regular life. And you need those freezer meals. You never know when the flood is going to happen. And I was just so grateful to have something that I could throw in my Instant Pot that was delicious and warm and homey. You were right. It was perfect for the day.
Yeah. And this time, I mean, so far, so good. I know, knock on wood everywhere. My husband is away. So for me, this has been not completely ideal because I'm doing the daycare runs. My daughter helped me. She did the daycare run this morning, but like yesterday I was in the middle of prep and doing daycare run in the morning, daycare run at the end of the day. My husband usually does most of the daycare runs. So, and then, having a 3-year-old underfoot while I'm doing prep and while I'm trying to clean, and you know how it is with little ones, like I clean and he comes right along behind me and it is no longer clean. So
you know what? I don't think that's different than teenagers, if I'm really being honest.
I don't know. When do people outgrow this? So all that to say that you might not have ideal circumstances to get meals done, but there are ways to do it. And we're going to be sharing later ways to do it other than like a big giant mega session that would be overwhelming to start. And we do not recommend you start there. But we just want to say done is better than perfect. It's better to get started. It's better to get at least 1 or 2 meals in your freezer than none at all. We're really excited for you to experience this for yourself. For these blackened pork chops, which are a new to us recipe, we're going to add our boneless pork chops into the freezer bag, some blackened seasoning, we got it from the bulk store, some salt, and lime slices. That is it. Just mix that together in the bag to combine it. Get out as much air as you can, seal it, freeze it. This one cooks up in a skillet, and you're gonna wanna squeeze that lime over top. Tuscan sun-dried tomato ravioli sauce. Christy requested this one. She put it on the list.
A long time ago, I think.
You sent me an email of your wishes for the mega session.
Every once in a while, I flip through the binder while I'm filing, and I'm like, oh, I haven't had that in so long.
And I was like, okay, sounds good, but I had forgotten how good it was until I went to make this and I was gathering the ingredients, because we like to gather the ingredients not just when we first start and gather all the ingredients here, but every time we do a recipe, we take the recipe and we walk around the kitchen, pantry, fridge, whatever, and we get the things that might be sitting in the fridge and take them out. Like in this case, the heavy cream was still in the fridge.
Right.
So when I read the ingredients for this, I was like, oh, I'm so happy that Christy added this one. So in a quart size freezer bag, we're gonna add some butter, garlic, sliced sun-dried tomatoes, Italian seasoning, Dijon mustard, and heavy cream. I'm sure you can see now why this one is delicious.
The only thing it's missing is bacon, really.
Seriously, it's so decadent. And this one, you just heat it up and serve it over refrigerated ravioli that you get in the store that cooks up in like 4 to 6 minutes. So you have a really, really easy lunch or dinner. We have more tips for you. One is wear good shoes. Wear shoes, period.
Wear shoes.
We have, I don't know if I can get my foot that high.
That helps because I'm tall.
We needed the camera to be lower.
We'll just take B-roll.
We have shoes on our feet. You also want to stay hydrated. So, oh, can I reach it?
Yes, you can.
Over at my station where I was making meals, I have my water.
This is my second one today. I even got Charlotte's mom. She was like, what can I do? And I'm like, I could use another thing of water. And she went and got it for me. You really need a Charlotte's mom. It's so awesome.
Totally. She's the best. And then the other thing is we never used to plan our meals when we would do these mega sessions. We kind of joke about that, like being in the ocean, like you're surrounded by water, but not a drop to drink. It was like there's food everywhere, but none of it is actually cooked.
No, and the extra irony of it is we would send your husband out to go pick up takeout
While we're saving
while
money.
we're saving money.
On the meals. It was like, and I mean, yes, it still made sense to do that, but it was ironic.
Yes.
And so we have gotten better over the years. One of the things that we have implemented that we're very big fans of is our snack station.
Yes.
So Christy just had a graduation party for her daughter on the weekend. It just passed.
I had a big charcuterie board.
And so she brought some of the remnants of her charcuterie board today for our snack station, and we've got some fancy tortilla chips there, and we've got what else?
Brie,
spicy asparagus. Oh, my mom's homemade pumpkin muffins. Yeah. So we have all kinds of things that we can snack on, but I'm going to interrupt myself to say that the grad party was amazing.
It turned out really well. I'm happy with it.
Christy did the best job. Everything was so beautiful, and the charcuterie board, it wasn't a board, it was a table. It was gorgeous.
I said to my daughter after, I'm like, Charlotte does a lot of fancy food, and you don't understand how good it made me feel that it stopped you in your tracks and you took video of it. I know it's B-roll for a video in the future, but it just made, it could be this video, but I'm like, I can be fancy too, because she has the fanciest parties.
I love appetizers, yes. So I try, but that was so impressive. And Christy's sister-in-law had made 3 different flavors of cupcakes, and I'm talking the kind where you bite into it and there's a filling. She had made homemade lemon curd in one of them.
And she said it was her first time.
It was so good.
And she said she discovered black cocoa. Mm-hmm. And because those chocolate muffins were very dark.
She said it made the icing taste like Oreo.
Right.
So
it was good.
I don't really bake much, so I'll have to just go based on what she's saying, but I can tell you that the taste of her cupcakes was amazing. And you had ordered these little cupcakes that had your daughter's name and grad year, and it was so well done. And Christy did a lovely speech.
Oh, I did have a speech.
And it was, it was
nice.
I've known her daughter since she was 3, so it was a little emotional.
Special,
it was very special day. So today we are getting the fruits of that in our little snack station over there. But I had a plan. In this, I have more than one freezer. I do have a large family, and I do freezer meals, so I have more than one freezer. I know some of you, and you are a 1 or 2 person household, and you have as many freezers as I do, so I don't feel that badly, but...
I have a small family, and I have more than one freezer.
In my, what we call the show freezer, which is like the kitchen freezer that you all see and that looks so impressive because it's just perfectly stacked meals, because all the other things that you have to have in your freezer, like the frozen broccoli, the frozen meatballs, the ice cream, or the whatever, those are in one of the other freezers that you don't see. I show you, but you know, it's not the show freezer. Anyway, I digress. In the show freezer, I had 1 meal left. So I took it out and thawed it so that we can have it for lunch today. So I'm gonna grab it. Hold on. It is slow cooker tortellini and chicken sausage, and I have no idea if it's good because it was an experiment. I made it in a tortellini video, tortellini recipes only, and it is just totally a pure experiment. So we're gonna throw it in the slow cooker right now, and in 2 hours, we will have a late lunch because I should have done this earlier.
That's okay. In the meantime, we'll snack on charcuterie.
Absolutely. And I did forget to say, I'm gonna pop a video right up there of the meals that Christy made for this grad party, because she also had made homemade all the food. Like, she had done homemade burgers, the veggie burgers, like Chipotle black bean veggie burgers.
Honey mustard chicken burgers. I made a frittata, which we didn't end up eating. We had way too much food, but I had some for breakfast this morning, and it was really good.
You did the seafood stuffed shells.
I did the seafood stuffed shells, and they were a hit. And of course they're a hit. They're delicious. I made buffalo chicken dip, spinach and artichoke dip, which were requests of my daughter.
All made as freezer meals.
And so I made it all in this video. Charlotte was away, so you get to see my kitchen and see me work and it was so awkward and dark because it's not set up at all, but it was fun, and people have been very kind in the comments section, so I appreciate that.
And I had to laugh because I'm out on Christy's deck on Saturday, and her husband said he's like biting into the seafood stuffed shells, and he says, "Whoa,
you would never know that this is a freezer meal."
And I'm like, "Would you like to be a commercial for us?" Like,
he pretty much is. Wherever we go, if we start to talk freezer meals, what is that? Why don't you tell me about them? He's such a good wingman. It's so funny.
It's hilarious. Okay, this is going in the slow cooker right now. Okay. This is a very full bag. Like, whoa. This is definitely gonna be enough for us and my daughter and my mom and anybody else who stops by.
Pretty much.
Well, maybe when my son gets home from work. Oh, is it high or low? On low. Okay, there we go. Yay. We will see. We're gonna get back to it now that our lunch is cooking, and we are moving on to some of our beef recipes now. Things just keep getting more and more exciting.
So to make these smash burgers, you're going to take your lean ground beef, mix it in with some garlic powder, onion powder, dry mustard powder, and a bit of Worcestershire sauce. You're gonna mix it around. You can use gloves, you can use a spoon, you can use your bare hands, it doesn't matter. Mix it until it's thoroughly mixed, and then you're going to make these perfect little balls. You're going to freeze them on a baking sheet with some parchment paper. Get them in your freezer. Once they're frozen, transfer them into your freezer bag, into a large freezer bag. When you go to cook these, you're going to allow them to thaw. You're going to put them in your skillet, smash them, and then add a bit of salt, and you might need a little bit of vegetable oil so that they don't stick. You can do these on this grill, but you have to pre-smash them before you put them on the grill. Don't put them on the grill and then smash them, right? Just probably better to stick to the skillet for these guys. When you go to eat these, they're nice and thin. So you go and have 1 or 2 or 3 all in the same bun and use whatever toppings that you like. So we were making steak bites today. They are 2 new recipes that I will get to in a sec. We have steak bites in the club. They are very, very good. We make them in the air fryer and they're perfect.
We also have slow cooker ones.
Oh, we do have slow cooker steak bites. You're right. That's a newer one. Very, very good as well. But these are 2 new flavors. There's rosemary garlic butter steak bites and Cajun garlic butter steak bites. To get the steak bites, you have to cut up steak into 1-inch cubes. And steak right now is one of the most expensive things you can buy. So what I ended up doing was I just bought a big roast from Costco, and it was a top sirloin roast with the end cap. And I bought more than I needed because I knew I would have to, that end cap is just fat. So I knew I would have to cut that off. And so instead of cutting up steaks, I cut up this giant roast into everything that I needed for these steak bites. And I just put them directly into the bags. I weighed them out first to make sure that I had the right amount for everything. The cost was about half to do it that way as opposed to buying the steak. So these are very expensive, tender little morsels, but they're a real treat, and I think they're going to be really, really great. One of them has chopped up rosemary in it and is one of my favorite smells in the world. So the rosemary garlic butter steak bites, you start out with your steak that's been cubed in your bag. You're going to add in some olive oil, paprika, onion powder, salt and pepper, minced garlic, and that finely chopped rosemary. You're going to mix that around in the bag, get that excess air out, and seal it up. And then if you want to be fancy, you're going to put your butter in a medium-sized bag, and you can do it in the little pats because it calls for 5 tablespoons. So each of these little sections is a tablespoon, and you can have that in the freezer attached to your steak bites. So when you go to cook this, you have everything that you need. These can be done in the skillet. You could do them in the air fryer. You might lose your butter, and just fry them till they're the doneness that you want. And man, I am looking forward to these a lot. The next steak bites are the Cajun garlic butter steak bites, and they are even easier to put together. You start out with your steak bites in the bag. We're adding in Cajun seasoning, a bit of pepper, and a bit of parsley. On the day of cooking, you're going to add your butter and your minced garlic, because when you go to cook these up, you cook them up in the skillet, and then you take it off the heat when you're happy with them. Then you add your butter and your garlic in, and you just let it melt, and you roll these steak bites around in that garlic butter. And I think that's going to be like heaven on a plate. My husband is going to die when he eats these, I think. And Charlotte will never know because because she doesn't eat beef. So she'll just have to take our word for it.
But my husband will be so
Your
happy
husband
with
will
me.
be very happy. I know.
For the pork tenderloin sheet pan dinner, we're gonna add our pork tenderloins into the bag, then some rough chopped carrots, some onions in large chunks, salt, pepper, olive oil, balsamic vinegar, honey, some sprigs of fresh rosemary. Squish that together. This one is so beautiful. Like, it looks amazing and it tastes amazing too. We have some more tips for you, and also our lunch is ready, so we can show you trying this. I have to say, I don't have high hopes for this tortellini.
That's only because you had a couple of flops out of that session.
Yeah,
so
I did.
You're tempering your expectations. I have high hopes because I didn't have to eat any. I had one and I thought it was good, but it would need to be
Yeah, we needed
tweaked.
to tweak that recipe. That was the tortellini sausage bake.
Yes.
And it was like too heavy on the sausage. So we might revisit that sometime in the future because the flavors were good.
They were good.
The reason I don't have high hopes for this one is tortellini in the slow cooker. I find that you really need to add it towards the end. Like our tortellini soup is really good
This
that
didn't
way.
look very saucy.
Yeah.
And so, yes, it might be mushy. So we'll see.
We'll let you know. You're gonna watch it here. But we wanted to talk to you about a few more tips. One is that you've probably noticed we are labeling everything as we go. I had just finished these pork tenderloin sheet pans that are
So pretty.
so pretty and so delicious. And these are like if you're having guests over and you really want to impress them, and they don't need to know that it took you 5 minutes to put dinner on a sheet pan and put it in the oven, but it's a really, really good one for guests. Anyway, it has the cooking instructions right there on it, and it has the date that it goes into your freezer, and it tells you, like for these, you want to add baby potatoes onto the sheet pan on the day you make it, and just give that a stir and get it in the oven. Potatoes don't freeze well raw, so that's the reason that we're adding them on the day of cooking. So we got these labels from the club, but as long as you get the name of the recipe, the date, and the cooking instructions on your label, you will be so glad that you did that. You won't have mystery meat in your freezer.
Have you ever had a label fall off a can? And then, you know, you're looking through your Lazy Susan and you're like, oh, is this going to be a can of beans or tomato soup or
Cherry pie
chickpeas?
filling.
Yeah, cherry pie filling. You just don't know.
That would be pretty funny to pour that into a bowl. Not a very good lunch.
No, not terribly. But so yes, label your stuff, and freezer meals are good for 3 to 6 months generally. You can get away with a little bit longer if you use a vacuum sealer. We eat ours. That's a very commonly asked question, is how do you avoid freezer burn? And the answer is eat them in a timely manner and you won't have a freezer burn problem. But the vacuum sealers, they're really good indefinitely. And they might still get some freezer burn, but they seem to last longer. But we just like these.
Years and years.
Like years, yes.
But we really cycle through ours quickly, so we haven't needed to go that route. The next thing that we wanted to tell you, actually, let's grab a bowl of the tortellini, and then we'll talk about our next tip.
Okay.
Yeah, it's sticking to the sides. Definitely a slow cooker liner would have been a good idea. And I don't love, like if I made it again, I can already tell that I would, if the flavors are amazing, I would sear the chicken sausage first, because I would just prefer the texture of them if they're seared. But we'll see. It's at least a full meal, and we have worked up an appetite, I would say.
We have.
Okay. Let me grab you a bowl.
Bon appetit. I do like that sausage. Mm-hmm. But I agree with you about even visually.
Yes, it would be so much better if it was seared, right?
I agree. And the searing does provide extra flavor.
It caramelizes it a little bit.
Caramelization, yeah.
Okay.
Listen to us. It's like we went to culinary school.
She's not paying attention. Okay.
We'll see.
It's not terrible, but that's not what we're going for.
Not terrible. Is not a good description if you're trying to put this on a website and selling stuff.
You heard it here first. Not terrible.
Not terrible.
I don't know if we've mentioned it, but in order for our recipes to make it into the club or onto the website, they go through this process of we make them, like you've seen today. We freeze them. We make sure that they're good and frozen before we thaw them and cook them up. And then we chat. Mm-hmm. And between our two families, a lot of people try them. And then we kind of go, yeah, it was good, but we could improve it this way. Or it needs tweaking.
It's knocked out of the park.
A lot of times.
we're very happy with it, and it immediately goes in the club. Well, it immediately goes to our food photographer, and it eventually gets to the club.
And if it's like this one, like I don't even know if this is worth tweaking.
No. Also,
it has so many issues.
And it doesn't cook long enough for the onion to really soften. Like I'm getting crunch from the onion. Onions soften in the freezer anyway, so lots of times you can do a quick skillet meal and the onion is good enough. But
because this was on low, but then you wouldn't want to cook it any longer because the tortellini is starting to get mushy.
What kind of sauce is this?
It's like
is it an Alfredo or
no? It's like there's some cream cheese, there's some cheese, there's a bunch of seasonings
and tomato.
I forget if it's the fire roasted tomato or if it's like Rotel or something. Anyway, there's some kind of tomato in here. I am a no, and I'm like no. Even if we seared the sausage,
and the sausage is so good. We've used it in another recipe, and I appreciate the effort to try find another use for it because it is a really good sausage. It's that chicken, spinach, and feta sausage you get at Costco, and it's really good.
I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep trying recipes with that chicken sausage because I'd like it. Right now, we only have 2 recipes that use the chicken sausage that made the cut. We have tried others. This one is for sure no. But I'm going to keep trying because I'd like to expand our repertoire of those recipes.
Always.
So our next tip, which has nothing to do with this recipe at all, but here we are taking our lunch break, is that when you do this, we do not recommend that you start with a 2-day plus prep day mega session. Don't start with a marathon. We recommend that you start small, that you double your dinner, you eat one and freeze one, make sure that it's a freezer safe recipe, or that you do something like what we do in our cooking classes where it's 5 recipes, each of them are doubled, so you end up with 10 meals, but it just takes you an hour or 2.
It's not a lot of commitment, but it's a big payoff.
Huge.
Right? The very first time I did this, long before I met Charla, I did do a big session with my friend and her parents. And we did it all at their house, and we hadn't ever done anything like that before. We weren't sure how to plan the shopping and how to divvy up the prep, and it was a bit overwhelming to dive in. Now, we muscled through and we did it, but I wished I had somebody kind of like us to look ahead to and to give tips like this. And I do kind of wish that I had started smaller because it was a big enough undertaking that it made me shy away from wanting to try again. And so start small, that you can accomplish it right away and that you have the payoff right away and that it isn't too much. I like these bite-sized PDF meal plans that we have.
Totally. And if you do something like those live cooking classes where you walk away with 10 meals and you just invested a couple of hours, then really 10 meals is 2 weeks of dinners because sometimes you've got leftovers for the weekend or you do a pizza night or, whatever it is. So it kind of stretches out to be 2 weeks. And if you don't have to worry about dinner again for 2 weeks and it only took you 2 hours, believe me, you're going to want to do it again. It feels so good to open your freezer and see your freezer stack. And we really want you to get started, but we don't want you to get overwhelmed. So our tip right now is just, okay, I have 2 tips. Don't make this tortellini.
I'm hungry enough, I'm going to finish it.
But it's not good.
It's not club worthy.
It's not going to make the cut. It's kind of like the people that have the preconceived notions of what freezer meals are.
Yeah,
it's like this.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
But
they could be so much better.
Know that this would never be one of our real recipes. This is just an experiment that didn't make the cut. So tip 1, don't eat this. Tip 2, start small, maybe double your dinners, or come to one of our cooking classes so that you can make 5 recipes and double each of those to end up with 10 dinners. We are moving on, and one of the recipes that we're going to be making is, I haven't made this for years and years. We haven't made it together for years and years, and it's our fish tacos with mango salsa. Christy picked up a case of yellow mangoes yesterday at Costco.
Yes, I did.
And we're doing more than just that with the mangoes. This is exciting. So let's get to the fish tacos. It has been so many years since we made these fish tacos with mango salsa. And I was trying to think about why it's been so long, because we used to make them quite often and they're delicious and they're so fresh and they're so perfect for summer. And I realized that the reason is because I don't really know how to chop mangoes. And so every time I look at the recipe, I'm like, oh yeah, but I'm not good at chopping mangoes. So, you know how I was saying that my daughter who's in culinary school helped me with prep? Well, I knew that. So I totally put these on the list. And don't you know it, she did an amazing job with
She did a beautiful job.
that whole case of diced mango.
And you can buy frozen diced mango, but these are teeny tiny, and I find the frozen chunks are bigger.
Yes, they're quite large.
And it's just nice to have the fresh, right?
This is so fresh, and no one is going to believe this is a freezer meal. So for this, in a bowl, you're going to mix together your peeled and small cubed mango, some diced purple onion, some seeded and finely diced jalapeno peppers. We left the seeds in ours because we kind of like things a little spicy around here. Then some chopped cilantro, lime juice, and honey. Once that's mixed together, you're gonna transfer that into a quart-size freezer bag, and then you're gonna add some fish, just a white fish, so whatever one you like. You can use cod, bassa, tilapia, I don't know, white fish.
White fish.
Into another quart-size bag. You're gonna staple those bags together above the seal so that you've got everything you need to make these delicious fish tacos. Definitely recommend that you use these in a flour tortilla. You could add some like avocado crema to that, or there's so many options actually. But honestly, these could stand on their own because you have all the flavors in that mango salsa. And since we were getting that case of mangoes from Costco anyway, I decided to do something else, which is we have been making for years and years and years. One of my all-time favorite freezer meals is our chicken in a mango cream sauce that we serve over pasta. I don't know, I've been making this for like over a decade. And in the Freezer Meals 101 Club, in the recipes, people can rate them and they can write comments. And sometimes they write the most helpful comments. They write about how they adapted it for different dietary needs, how they made it vegetarian, how they expanded it, what side dishes they made with it. And I have learned so much about my own recipes in those comments. And Cheryl from the club had recently put that she adds frozen mango chunks to her chicken and a mango cream sauce. As soon as I saw that, I was like, that is so brilliant. But I thought I would like them smaller. The mango chunks were in our area are quite large, like Christy was saying. And so I was wanting them to be, you know, the smaller cubes, just like we used in those fish tacos. So I thought, well, you know, if my daughter is cubing mangoes for that anyway, she could cube some extra. And today, in all of our chicken and mango cream sauce bags, we are adding in some of those fresh diced mangoes. The other thing about this recipe that I have to tell you is last time I made this on camera, which was fairly recently because I was making meals for one or two. I was going to the mountains with a friend and I was making meals for us when we were going to be there. I accidentally put peach juice instead of mango juice in the recipe, but bear with me. Hold on 1 second. To be fair, okay, this is the mango juice. This is the peach juice. Do you see how similar? So I feel like it was an honest mistake. But here's the really funny part. So we have an amazing YouTube video editor. Her name is Jess, and she has been a lifesaver because for years and years I was editing these videos myself and drowning with it. So and let's face it, her editing is 1,000 times better than mine. So not only am I not doing it and I'm getting some of my time back, but she is doing it better and faster than I ever did. So she emailed me and she was like, did you know that you put peach juice in your thing when you said that you put mango juice? And I was like, no, I didn't. No, I'm sure it was mango juice. And then she sent me the file and I watched myself pour peach juice into my recipe. Christy's over here laughing at me. But anyway, so when I was in the mountains with my friend Denise, I had to serve her chicken in a peach cream sauce. But the funny thing is that by then I had seen the comment about the mango, the frozen mango cubes that Cheryl had made in the club. And so I had put fresh mango in it. So it was like chicken in a peach cream sauce with mango. Anyway, I could taste the difference. Mango is preferable. But if you're really in a bind, you could use peach because it wasn't that bad. Okay, let's get to the recipe. So you've got your cooked cube chicken in your freezer bag. You're gonna add in some sliced purple onion, sliced red peppers, minced garlic, Madras curry paste, and flour. You're gonna give that a really good shake in the bag. You wanna coat the chicken and vegetables in that like flour curry paste mixture. Then you're gonna open your bag back up and add in some chicken broth, mango juice, mango chutney, evaporated milk, red pepper flakes, and this time we're adding in that fresh mango. Then you do the things that you do for every recipe, you shake it in the bag, you get out your air, you seal it, and you get that in the freezer. This is beautiful served over pasta. And in any of our recipes that use cooked cubed chicken, they're really good for making into individual servings because the meat is already cooked. So it's just a very quick reheat. If you want to portion it into individual servings, all you're going to do is mix it together in a bowl and then divide it out among quart-size freezer bags.
This is the amazing one-pot Marry Me Chicken Orzo pasta. It has been the biggest hit at Charlotte's house because it's one of the few things that our little guy will eat. And then she tells me today, yeah, well, he stopped liking that. So good luck to her. But at our house, it's pretty popular. And in fact, my freezer stash was getting a little low before we got a chance to do this mega session. And so maybe a month ago, I did my own little mini session at home, and I had been missing the one-pot Marry Me chicken pasta. And so I made a couple of them, and we actually had one of them last night. But in the meantime, Charlotte had asked me, what do you want to make in the mega session? So I'm like, I hadn't had the one-pot Marry Me chicken in so long. We need to have that. And so we're having it again, and it's here right now. And I am not complaining because this is one that I could eat over and over and over again. And I think you will like it too. Start out with your chicken breast that has been cooked and cubed. We kind of like a smaller dice on this, like a 1/2 inch. It's just nice when it's little. And I think the other reason is because it's with the orzo, it's balanced well, and it was probably nice also for their little guy to eat. We're going to add in minced garlic, sun-dried tomatoes, oregano, pepper, paprika, chicken broth, and heavy cream. You're going to mix that all around together in the bag. Then in a medium-sized bag, you can add in some shredded Parmesan cheese. And if you really want to be complete, you can also do another medium-sized bag and put your 1 cup of Orzo pasta in there. And then staple all those bags together. So when you go to make this, you have everything that you need to get it on the stove and get going. You're going to allow them to thaw and get that big bag into a large skillet. You're going to allow it to come to a boil. You're going to add in your Orzo and let it simmer. 10 or 15 minutes. Orzo doesn't take all that long to cook. Pasta seems to take a little bit longer when we are doing it in a one-pot situation than it would be if you were just boiling a pot of pasta. So, and you'll have to stir it every once in a while. When I was baking mine last night, I thought it needed just a bit more liquid. So I actually boiled some water. Don't add cold water to your pasta. It will stop it from boiling. Boil some water and add it if you find that your pasta water is low. And so that's what I did here. I just added maybe a 1/4 cup extra because that's what I needed at the time. But the time before I made it, I didn't need to do that. So who knows why that happens sometimes. Maybe I boiled it harder. I don't know. Perfect is not what we're looking for here. The point is it was done. And then you can sprinkle that Parmesan cheese on top and let it melt, and you serve it like that. Probably with more Parmesan cheese and some red pepper flakes if you live at Charlotte's house. And it's just so delightful. You're going to love it. And I'm glad that even though we just had it, I have more happening in my freezer right now.
We started experimenting with quinoa recipes about 6 months ago. Realized that they freeze really well, even if you don't cook the quinoa up ahead, even if it just cooks up in the meal on the day of. So we're going to try out this one pot Moroccan quinoa. I switched the recipe even today a little bit. I was still tweaking it as I was making it. And then I tasted one of the olives just on its own and realized that it's pretty salty. I don't know that I've had this kind of olive before. If I had tasted the olive first, I actually wouldn't have added the salt into the recipe. So that's probably a tweak that once I taste it, we will be changing. But anyway, for now, into our bag, I added a minced shallot, some minced garlic, that harissa paste that we used in that other recipe earlier, some lemon juice, cumin, paprika, some dry quinoa, fire roasted diced tomatoes, vegetable broth, salt, and those Castelvetrano olives. This one cooks up in a skillet, and then you add in some slivered almonds and some baby spinach. So this one could be a side dish, or it could be a full vegetarian meal. Or maybe is it vegan? Maybe it's vegan, but I'm not sure about the harissa paste. So for sure vegetarian though. We're always looking for new freezer side dishes because it just makes it so much easier. When you have like a chicken in a marinade or a salmon in a marinade, a pork in a marinade, whatever it is, it's just really easy to be able to cook that up and then take your side dishes out of the freezer as well. So we are experimenting with a few new ones this time, and this one is a garlic butter quinoa, super fast to put together. We've got our quinoa, some butter, minced garlic, salt, and vegetable broth. That's it, that's all, and it goes in a quart-sized bag. We'll see how this one is. Way back when Christy and I first met, we're neighbors, and we discovered that each of us did freezer cooking and thought maybe we could do this together, which really was magic. It took everything to the next level. It's like Christy is so good at organizing and admin. Christy is who you have to thank for the printable labels in the club. Woohoo! Big round of applause. And she is also an excellent cook. So whereas I know flavors and I'm very passionate about food and I have a good palate, I didn't grow up cooking and I have no idea what the cooking instructions should be. It's so common for Christy to send something back to me. As a matter of fact, one of the recipes we're doing today where she's like, your cooking instructions are out to lunch. Like,
I'm going to just tweak these. Sometimes I ask her, sometimes I don't. I just change them and I know what they should be, and so that's okay. I have been cooking for a long time. My mom was a great cook. Her mom was a great cook. Her mom was a great cook. And so, you know, it's just kind of been taught. And so there's all these little tips and tricks that I've actually been able to teach Charlotte over the years. And we will pass these along to you, and over the years we have. I don't know if you are new around here in the YouTube universe with us, or if you've been with us for a very long time, but you have seen us do some pretty cool things in this kitchen, and we surprise each other regularly with the ideas that we come up with. I kind of love it.
totally. We are trying to like push the boundaries of what's possible with freezer cooking, but take away all the old myths that you have or thoughts that you have about freezer meals being mushy or bland or having texture issues, because ours do not. You'll see today that we go through the experiment process and we weed through and find the best of the best of the best, but we are always trying to like raise the bar.
It is time for the smash burgers to get put into their bags, and they froze so fast in her new freezer. I even took advantage of the single serving freezer. We should give it a name.
Yes, it needs a name.
It needs a name. So
Yeah, it was funny because there's actually space to put the trays.
that just about never happens. You know, it's kind of a crapshoot of whether that's going to happen or not. So really just 8 in each bag. This one has 7. I did some math, but you know, sometimes done is better than perfect. Another example of that.
Aren't these beautiful? Hey, I just finished making these roasted veggie sheet pan meals. And again, kind of looks like fall, but gorgeous. So for these, we added cauliflower florets, diced sweet potato, red pepper in large chunks, purple onion in large chunks, olive oil, lime juice, cumin, coriander, turmeric, oregano, cayenne pepper, and salt and pepper. These ones are gonna cook up on a sheet pan. We're gonna add some black beans halfway through the cook time for these. And then this is gonna be another taco option, because I know we have a lot of taco recipes in the club, but can you ever really have too many taco recipes? Not so far.
Sometimes I feel like all we do is gush about the cauliflower tacos, and they're totally worth it. They're worth every compliment we say. I was pleased to put together the cauliflower tacos today, and we start with our cauliflower florets in the bag. We like to make them pretty small because they fit nicely in your taco shells. We do really like to have them with the crunchy taco shells, but we're going to forgive you if you have them with the soft taco shells. It's really fine. We're going to add in a bit of olive oil and mix that around so it coats the cauliflower, so then when we add the spices, they stick to it better, a little more evenly. So in a separate bowl, we combine our spices. We add quite a bit of chili powder, cumin, paprika, onion powder, red pepper flakes, and salt and pepper. Mix that around in the bowl so it's evenly distributed, and then pour it into your cauliflower tacos. I did 4 today, and I was able to do it all in one big bowl and then just divide it. I used a spoon and went spoon, 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 spoon. It went so fast. It was really easy to throw together. When you go to cook this, you can bake it in your oven, or it's actually really nice in the air fryer because they get nice and crispy. And then you load them up with some really great toppings. We like to use cabbage or maybe coleslaw. Avocado crema, if you can't find it in the store, you go ahead and make it. It's easy to find a recipe on the internet. It's basically pureed avocado with sour cream and a bit of seasoning. We like to add cilantro, jalapenos, sliced radishes, and or pico de gallo.
Okay.
Dun, dun,
Oh,
dun.
sorry.
Daddy takes a tea bag away.
Yes, we are. We can be done.
Can we
Okay.
be done?
I mean, yes, I was gonna do this, but yes, let's do that. So Sorry, go.
I'm done, so I don't know about you.
No,
You do what you need to do. I'm done.
I know, okay. We are done day one. We're not done because we have not reached that over 100 number yet. It's coming because we are at, we're going to show you the freezer. And you saw what it looked like this morning. It was
You should guess.
pretty empty. But yes, definitely.
Give us a guess in the
Talk
comments.
amongst yourselves.
How many meals have we done after the end of day one? Could you write it in a full sentence so we know that you're referring to? Because by the time this goes up and we look at the comments and you just see numbers throwing at us, I don't know what that means anymore.
We are at, drum roll, 66. We are so happy with our day one total, and it for sure sets us up to do really well tomorrow and to be able to get done. I have a thing that I would really like to do tomorrow, but I don't know if I can. So we are going to try to get started early. We're going to try to finish early so that I can surprise my husband at the airport. I would like to pick up our little guy and be at the airport to pick my husband up. It would be fun for both of them. They would be so excited to see each other, and I would be excited to be able to pull that off. So we would have to finish really, really, really early tomorrow, like hours earlier than we normally finish a mega session, but I think we can do it.
I think we can do it. Here's the thing. Your little guy isn't home tonight, so we can leave our cameras set up. We don't have to pack everything away.
He is sleeping at my mom's.
Yes.
Thank you, Mom.
And then once, if the meals are done, or even if we're like very close to being done, just go.
Yeah.
Because you're not doing this alone. And we're using her house. I'm happy to stick around and clean up the kitchen. And tomorrow my daughter's going to come and help us in the afternoon because her mom's busy. And she's going away soon after school. And so I just get to soak up more time with her. And so we'll stick around and clean up your house. That's totally fine.
It's going to be really great. And these meals.
Oh!
I cannot wait to get started eating them. They just have to freeze overnight. So tomorrow night I can test out the first of these brand new to us recipes. And the hardest thing to decide is going to be which one to try first. Let us know in the comments which one you are most excited to hear feedback on. And we'll see you in the morning, which for you will be right about now. It is morning of day 2, and we feel pretty bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
I feel very bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I wasn't so much at 6 o'clock this morning. My legs were a little sore, and I was surprised because I wasn't feeling sore really at all by the end of the day. Oh, that's not true. My knees were bugging me. My knees are almost 50 years old, so.
You know when we say, like, start small, double your dinner, just do like one of our little monthly sessions where you end up with 10 meals, or do 2 of those and end up with 20. Like, one of the reasons is because it will be honest, like when you do a mega session over 100 meals over 2 days, your body might be complaining a little bit.
But at the same time, that's one of the great things about freezer meals. Even if you're not doing a mega session, we hear from club members all the time, people who have like an autoimmune disorder, or they have some mobility issues where they can't stand for long periods of time, or if they are having a down day where they are having a hard time getting out of bed, there's meals. So on the good days, you plan and you make those meals, because when it swings back around again and you're having a tough time, they're just so grateful to have those meals in the freezer. So,
and you can sit to do some of it.
Sit and do this. Lots of people do. We stand because we can. And so I'm grateful for that, honestly. I do think about those people a lot while we are doing something like this, because it's a big undertaking.
Totally. And I also think about when I did tear my rotator cuff, and it was difficult to, I mean, not impossible, but it was painful to do meals. Again, I was so thankful all the other days of the following months that I didn't have to do meals, and I didn't have to be chopping things and, you know, taking out my big heavy skillets and like whatever it was. I was just able to quickly have dinner. But I thought a lot about people who have chronic pain, about people who have mobility issues, and it just makes me so grateful and thankful. And we also have underneath our feet a standing mat that also just helps a little bit. Just
It's an anti-fatigue mat, and it really does help, I think.
between wearing shoes and the mat, it helps. So we are going to be popping in today, giving you more tips. We are going to be getting to some ground beef meals. We have a few veggie meals to finish up. We did quite a few yesterday. We try to throw vegetarian meals in. I tend to steer a little more on the veggie side of things. Christy's family are big meat eaters.
Yet last night when I got home, I had not taken anything out, and we had enough new recipes that I want to let them freeze, and so that they can go through their whole paces. So I hadn't really planned supper for last night. And I said to Charlotte before I left, I think I can do the cauliflower tacos because we've had them before. I know I don't need to freeze it. I can cook it just like it is right now. But then I have to make the fixings. But I still had stuff left over from the grad party.
Right.
So I had tomatoes and onions cut because we had burgers.
Oh yeah, so you had half the work
half the work done. And then it also is for my husband's lunch. And he is the meat eater. And we had cauliflower tacos last night, and he's like, I forgot how delicious these were, and that's what he took for lunch today.
Perfect.
And so veggie whatever, you can be turned.
Totally.
You can be convinced once you take that leap and expose yourself, even if it's like Meatless Monday, just give it a try.
And just adding in that Meatless Monday, just one day a week, makes a big difference to your grocery budget.
Yes, it does.
So that's the other thing. But yes, we have in this mega session, just as it happened, it's also because, summer, fresh, like bright flavors, it kind of lent itself to a little bit more veggie meals than what we would normally do in a mega session, but there's still lots of meat. There's meat coming. We've got some turkey coming, some ground sausage, and some ground beef, and then a few more veggie meals. I don't think we have any seafood today.
No, but we have one more pork tenderloin.
Yes, because we had that extra leftover pork tenderloin yesterday.
I forgot to make a label for it, so I will do that on one of these trips home today.
One of your trips home. Yeah. So yes, last night I was kind of poking around and doing some research and thinking about it, and I found some amazing sounding meals with pork tenderloin, but they were a little complicated, really easy to assemble. They would have been super fast to put together, but then on the day of, I would have had to do it so that you sear the pork tenderloin and then you take the sauce separately and you do this and you're using like 4 different pans, exactly. And I was like, no, that's not, we are not about complicating our lives. We're about making things simpler. So I found one that's super fast. I think it's like 4 or 5 ingredients. We're going to throw it together today, and then it cooks up like 1 pan and we're done. So we've got that happening. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to be sharing some more tips. We are also trying to beat the clock because I do want to do that airport run. I will tell you. So one of my sons dropped my husband off at the airport, and he often does our airport runs. He's awesome. He's such a great kid. He's a young adult now.
23 years old.
I can't call him a kid, but anyway. And so because he dropped my husband off, I was like, can you text Dad and ask him when his flight comes in? Don't lie, because I try to not teach my kids even the white lies. I'm like a real stickler about trying to be honest, especially with them, and just whatever. We have like an honesty policy in our family. And so I was like, don't lie, but just ask him when his flight comes in, and then say like, see you tomorrow, so that it sounds like you're the one picking him up.
Just let him assume whatever.
Yeah, but don't tell him you're picking him up, but make it sound like it. So he did, and this morning now he's all excited too. So we're gonna try to pull off this surprise with your help, because you gotta be cheering us on. And we tend to be a little chatty too, so we're not going to cut down on the chat because it's just who we are.
No.
But we're going to try to make the meals fast.
We'll make them fast, and a lot of these, not a lot, but there are some that we've made before, so we'll get to do 4 at a time, which will be faster than 2 at a time. And our first real tip of today, besides something we talked about yesterday, which was break your days up. It really does make a difference. But you really want to cool your prep before you get it into your bags and before you freeze it. So like your ground beef or the ground sausage or rice. Yesterday, no, the day before when you did your prep, all the rice is prepped and it has been cooked and cooled, sitting in the fridge so that we can just assemble it. You don't want to put hot things in your bags. It makes your freezer work harder. It's going to cause frost in your bags, which is going to lead to freezer burn faster. So let everything cool before you get it into your bags and your freezer will be happier.
And we are doing a bunch of rice recipes today, so it's kind of been sitting there just waiting for us. But we are ready. One of those is another side dish because we talked yesterday about we're trying to get more variety in our side dishes. We have definitely a good variety in the club, but there's always room for more, and it's one of our smaller categories. So we've got a kimchi fried rice coming today, and I have to say that is going to be one of the first new recipes that I try. I'm going to pull out one of the new chickens or one of the chicken and have that as a side this weekend because I can't wait.
I have a confession to make. I have never tried kimchi.
Really?
Really? I don't know why. And so this will be my first time. I'm guessing it's going to be like sauerkraut.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's cabbage.
I think it's a fermented cabbage.
It's fermented.
But it has chili oil or something. Like it's something that makes it spicy.
Okay.
I'm thinking in the fried rice, like dispersed with the rice to kind of cut the spice. It's not going to be overpowering, but I have no idea because this is totally an experiment. But I just love, we have some fried rices. We've got a sriracha chicken fried rice that's really good that has, peas and egg in that one. And then we've got just a chicken fried rice that's based on my aunt's recipe, my Tante Giselle's recipe. And we have a cilantro lime rice side dish.
We have the pineapple fried rice,
which is coming
we are
today.
Doing that today.
Which we get to do 4 of and
and
fast.
It is wildly good, you guys.
So I think there's room for another fried rice in the repertoire.
If we can have 17 meatball recipes, we are allowed to have 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 fried rice recipes.
Absolutely. All right, we are gonna get to the first meals. I'm making a roasted vegetable garlic gnocchi. It is a tried and true recipe, and it's got such bright colors and just bright, fresh flavors that it is perfect for summer, but because of the gnocchi, it's also hearty. So that's the first one I'm gonna get to.
Ooh, we're getting into the ground beef. So we have shepherd's pie soup coming up and a Thai basil beef skillet, which is a tried and true, and it's so lovely. It is just the nicest flavors.
And the shepherd's pie soup, it's more of a winter recipe, but we're doing it now because it's new to test it and see if it's good. And then if it's amazing, we'll make 4 next time we do a mega session and have it in time for winter. It's going to be weird to eat it in the summer though. But
we have a turkey chowder coming up, and I kind of feel the same way that it's a fall recipe, but honestly, there are going to be drizzly days this summer where I'm going to be glad to have it. Kind of like with the rain, I was glad to have that Mississippi pot roast.
We have had rain. I mean, this...
And there's more coming today.
I feel like the theme of this mega session is like Korean-inspired recipes and rain. Yesterday, off camera, but while we were filming, my brother-in-law came to pick up our industrial fans for when your basement floods, because our basement used to flood all the time. So Christy's basement flooded earlier this week. My brother-in-law's basement flooded and they need to borrow our fans.
And if he's on vacation, it was his brother that came to get it because they're away, and so it still needs to be looked after,
and
right?
It's so lousy when you're... So one year we went camping, and while we were camping, there were rats in the trailer we rented. A family of rats. And I am not a camping person.
And we don't have rats in Alberta. Like, the odd field mouse is fine. They get in your house, whatever. You have a cat and you deal with it. Rats, we don't deal with rats here. We're like the rat-free place in the world, the only one.
Yes, at the end of the Ratatouille movie, there's a whole little thing about Alberta, Canada, and how we have rat patrol, which is true.
We have a big rat patrol.
There are no rats here, and so I had never
rat reporting line. Sorry.
Yes, I had never seen a rat before, and I'm this like don't love camping, like not very outdoorsy person, and I'm the one that gets this. And my husband was like playing whack-a-mole with the rat as it was coming up the burners on the stovetop. Like it's just like, but it was protecting its rat babies. Oh my goodness, we could not get the rats out of there. Anyway, the next morning after I slept in my van crying, and that was also in the rain. It was pouring rain. We had just arrived. Anyway, we had rats. I'm sleeping in my van crying. And then Christy texts me and is like, I am so sorry. And she's like, there's a picture of her and her husband and my mom in my basement that's got water everywhere.
I'm cleaning up her basement while she's fighting rats in British Columbia.
It was not my favorite day. Not your favorite day either.
My favorite day.
So we have some experience with houses that flood, but thankfully we finally, after like 20 years of being here, actually maybe 5 years ago, we finally sorted out our flooding issues.
You've done a lot of things to remedy your flooding.
So we regraded the entire yard. That did not fix it.
You redid your eavesdrops, which Americans call gutters.
Yep, that did not fix it. We changed, I don't remember, something else that was really big.
Your cantilever in your windows.
Yeah, and then and a crack in the foundation, which we of course didn't know when we bought the place. And then
that's difficult to fix.
Finally, it ended up that we had no weeping tile.
None?
None. So the issue the whole time, every time we flooded, was we had no weeping tile.
Our weeping tile is very effective because that's how it was all coming into my basement. Like it was coming in to the sump pump, which is how it's supposed to work, but it was overwhelming it, and the sump was pumping it out to the septic, and the septic couldn't take anymore, so it had nowhere to go. So it was just stayed.
So it was just like, I'm here. I can't leave. So yeah.
So we had a whole setup.
Yeah.
And you've had whole setups.
Yeah. So,
rain delay. That's what we should call the subtitle of this video.
Because yesterday when we forgot to take B-roll of it, but Christy was cubing all of that beef that was supposed to be done in prep, but how can you when your basement's full of water?
The only prep I couldn't get done. It was just a lot. There might be B-roll of it on the busy cam.
Oh, you never know.
You never know what we'll find when we look at that other little camera setup.
We're gonna get into it and we'll be back. Let's do this thing. I just finished putting together the sheet pan vegetable gnocchi. Christy is finishing up the shepherd's pie soup. And in the gnocchi, we've got our fresh potato gnocchi in the bag. Then we're adding in some zucchini in large chunks. You're supposed to add in some yellow squash as well, but it's just not in season right now, so I wasn't able to find any. So we'll just kind of make a mental note or a note on the bag would be smarter. Anyway, and then if we come across the yellow squash in our travels around that time, because these last so long that we might still be eating these in the fall. Well, we will still be eating these in the fall. And by then, when it's in season and we see it in the grocery store or pick it up at the farmer's market, then we can just add it onto the sheet pan when we cook this. So we've got some purple onion in large chunks, some sliced mushrooms, some whole garlics. Oh, they're supposed to be in their skins. I could have saved myself from peeling all those garlics if I had just read my own darn recipe.
I'll be honest with you, I am glad you peeled them because on the other end, it's tough to peel them when they're hot, and you're supposed to mash them and I'm like, I just appreciate that you peeled them.
Okay, so actually this time we peeled them, and then we're adding in some olive oil, some salt, pepper, thyme, basil, and some red and orange peppers in chunks. Squish that all, well, actually it's more of a shake in this case. Shake it all together to coat your vegetables and gnocchi in that good sauce. And you just make this on a sheet pan. We're just doing a little pause to come and check in with you. Things are going really well. They were off to a slow start, I feel like. Those first recipes took us a little bit to get into our groove, but these past few recipes, like we've been doing 4 at a time. So between the two of us, we're just knocking 8 off. And it's starting to really snowball. And when I open the freezer now to add a meal, you just start to feel the relief. Like,
and we had a little chuckle because every time we open the fridge, it gets emptier and emptier. And Charlotte said, you know, one of these times I should do a before and after of the fridge, because in the beginning it is stuffed. And now it's like you could get an echo in there if you decided to holler. So yin and yang, there's a balance happening
totally.
here.
The fridge is cleaning out and the freezer is filling up. So
it's a good feeling.
We wanted to share a few more tips with you, and they are time saver tips. So like our onions, we keep a scoop. These are our diced onions, and we just keep a 1 cup measuring cup in here as a scoop. And then we know that 1 medium onion is about 1 cup of diced or minced onion. So you've got your scoop in there, and then you just go and like throw this into your 2 or 4 bags. It's super fast, saves you time. And for the ground meat, for the ground beef and the ground sausage, we keep a 1 cup scoop in there too, and it's 2 2/3 of a cup is 1 pound. So if your recipe calls for 1 pound, it's just super fast to add those into your bags. But we're always looking for ways to save more time. And it seems silly because these are just like, it's incremental, but it adds up.
It adds up. And what cracks me up about this one is we've been making meals for years and years and years together. And how many steps have we put on walking to the other side of the kitchen to come and get the garlic?
Because we're on
Like
opposite sides of the kitchen, like when we're doing our meals, of course. We're not standing next to each other. We're on opposite sides, not of the kitchen, but of the island or whatever. And so we're always sharing the, well, as Christy put it, the garlic. And yesterday she said to me,
why don't we just give me half of it so that I can have my own? Because whatever I don't use, I can put back in here when we're done. And so today, that's the first thing I did. Okay, first of all, it took me a good minute to find the garlic because honestly, we had left it out last night, and that was an oversight. But it's garlic. I mean, really, people use it in poultices. It's not going to go bad overnight on your counter. But somebody had wrapped some saran wrap around it and put it into the fridge. And
one of my lovely children.
And it was
helpful.
We're normally accused of being
leaving
unhelpful.
things out. Yeah.
And so once I found it, the first thing I did was I just grabbed my own. And so it's just a time saver, really. And it will add up.
It's the little things. It's like having the electric can opener. Now, if you're just making your meals and every day you're opening 1 can or every 3rd day you're opening a can, like you don't need an electric can opener. And you can totally make freezer meals with a regular can opener. But if you're doing something like a mega session like this and you're opening 100 cans, now this time we're not. We're probably opening like 40 maybe.
If that.
But sometimes when we're doing our corn chowder that has so many cans, or like our 7 can soup and we're doing 4 of those, or like we've got recipes that call for a lot of cans. So it has happened where we've had to open over 100 cans. And the electric can opener does save just fractions of time, but it adds up.
And it saves our wrists, really.
And our kids like to operate it, and so then actually it also kind of clones us.
It does, and technically it's a power tool, so you know the boys like to do it too. It's good. We had talked a little bit earlier about the shepherd's pie soup and how excited we were to try it, and so I had a chance to throw it together, and it does look really good. This is a big soup. This is going to be a feed a lot of people soup, and it's going to be hearty and very filling, and I think it's going to be a great addition. We'll have to put it through its paces, but I have a good feeling about this one. So into our bag, we're adding our cooked and cooled ground beef, diced onion, peeled and diced carrots, celery if you want to, but we haven't added it because Charlotte has a celery allergy, minced garlic, frozen cubed hash browns. These ones are big and chunky. There's different sizes, but we like the cubed kind for this. Some Italian seasoning, mustard powder. Are you stretching or are you just frozen in time over here?
I'm just trying to walk very quietly.
Charlotte's like, walk like an Egyptian. She's just frozen. Like, do you have a Charlie horse?
I was just trying to be very slow and quiet.
Sage, thyme, a bay leaf, a can of evaporated milk, frozen peas, frozen corn, Worcestershire sauce, some butter, some heavy cream, quite a bit of it, and then salt and pepper and chicken broth. We will want to add it at the end so that it doesn't tip over on us. In a separate bag, we're going to add some shredded cheddar cheese and then staple these bags together. Because when you go to make this, you're going to let your soup boil and do its thing. You can add flour to it and allow it to thicken up a little bit if you like. Put the flour in a shaker and add water, or you could use cornstarch, but this recipe we're choosing to suggest flour. And then when it's done cooking, you're going to add in that shredded cheese just a little bit at a time and let it melt. And then this is going to be some cheesy goodness shepherd's pie soup. And I'm really looking forward to trying this one. The Thai basil beef skillet is a tried and true recipe for us. And we haven't made it in a while, and I'm really happy to see it in the rotation again. It's super flavorful, and we are very fancy because we used fresh basil that I picked off of Charlotte's basil plant in her kitchen. So we didn't find any Thai basil, and that's okay. Sweet basil works, and there's some just right behind this camera. In our bag, we start out with our cooked and cooled ground beef. We're adding in a sliced red pepper, sliced purple onion, carrots that are cut into tiny matchsticks. You can do this yourself or you can buy them that way, and that's how we often do it. It just saves a bit of time. We're adding in minced garlic. Thank goodness I have my own over here. The basil leaves, fresh ginger, soy sauce, brown sugar, a bit of fish sauce, some salt and lime juice. Just mix that around in the bag, get the excess air out, and freeze it. When you go to cook this, it's just a quick reheat. When we were talking earlier about on days that you forget and you need that thin bag, this is the thinnest bag. You probably just need it to be thawed enough for it to be pliable. Get it into a hot skillet, make up some rice to go with it or some rice noodles. And this is a very lovely meal that has your vegetables right in it, and it's very flavorful.
So things are trucking along, and we have another tip to share with you. Surprise, surprise. And this one is clean as you go. I know it's difficult, but it is so overwhelming at the end if you don't clean as you go. Plus, you run out of things like measuring cups and measuring spoons. Yesterday, we had my mom helping with dishes. That so we're so grateful. That was so nice. This morning we had to do dishes ourselves.
It was a real hardship. We are very spoiled over here. The good news is Charlotte has an inordinately large amount of bowls. And I actually bring measuring cups from my house, and I bring spatulas so that we just have an abundance, but we still run out.
So I've got the dishwasher running right now, and from that I had to fill myself. I know. In the comments, you're just crying over our hardships that we have to clean up after ourselves. In my regular life, I clean up after myself all the time, but on these mega meal sessions, we get volunteers. So we're gonna introduce you to the person who has come now to help us with dishes.
Hey, Fraser Mealers!
This is my daughter, Julia. You may have seen her in a previous video because I did food for her grad party. She just graduated.
Awesome. It was the best food ever. You should have seen the table.
I think they probably have because we talked about it earlier, like yesterday.
And I took video.
Should have ate the table. It was so good.
We could have eaten the table. So we're grateful to have her here. She has a spares in the afternoon, so she was available. And I'm like, well, maybe you could come on over. And I'm extra glad because, after after exams are done, she's leaving for the summer. And so I'm just soaking up as much time as I can get with her.
And I'm going to miss her too because I love her, but also because she is our Wednesday night babysitter. And so our little guy is going to miss her too.
I think I'm just going to miss everyone and having home-cooked meals. But, got a membership. I'm not going to have any troubles. I'm going to be able to cook.
That's
for myself.
Julia she is one of our youngest club members. We should have you here more often. You're like bringing up the energy.
We're in party mode now.
Oh, yeah.
So clean as you go, or have my mom or a Julia.
I'm not a dishwasher.
One pot creamy sausage rigatoni is as delicious as it sounds. Into our bag, we've got our ground Italian sausage. I used the spicy variety, then some chicken broth, heavy cream, minced garlic, Italian seasoning, tomato sauce, salt, pepper, and red pepper flakes. Squish that all together, and on the day you go to cook this one, it cooks up with the raw pasta right in there, so the pasta soaks up all of that decadent goodness with the creamy sauce, and you can sprinkle this with red pepper flakes and Parmesan if you want. I know it's not winter, but lasagna soup should be in your freezer year-round. It is absolutely it is one of our favorite soups. I was gonna say it's my favorite, but then I had another few soups pop into my head. I was like, ooh, there is the spicy dill pickle soup and the creamy tomato basil and the carrot orange brie. We have a lot of soups and they're all delicious. And we have one coming up later, the turkey chowder. It's like turkey vegetable chowder with bacon. And it's one that we did at our last mega session. It was an instant hit. It was like we were eating it for breakfast. It was so good. It was one of those, we haven't had a recipe be that big of a hit for a while. It's so memorable. So we knew we had to put it into this, even though that one too is probably more of a winter fall soup. But anyway, lasagna soup, you want to have it year round. Into our bag, we've got our browned Italian sausage. We again use the spicy kind. We're adding oregano, basil, minced garlic, red pepper flakes, salt, pepper, bay leaves. I skipped the fennel in Christy's bags because she's not a fan of it. Some nutmeg, diced onion, fire roasted diced tomatoes, and tomato paste. You can also add your chicken broth or your beef broth, or you can do what I've done today and just make a note on the bag to add the chicken broth on the day of, and then you get a thinner bag, and we prefer that especially at a mega session when your freezer gets full so quickly. And then in a quart-size bag, you're gonna add some ricotta cheese and staple that onto your large bag. And then the day that you make this, you add in some little noodles. We have these ones that kind of look like mini lasagna noodles. So those are the ones that we prefer to get. Christy discovered them at Bulk Barn and she brought me some the other day, which was so kind of her. So I'm gonna be adding those in. And you wanna top this with that ricotta cheese from your quart-size bag and some Parmesan.
This is a new recipe to us. This is the pork lettuce wraps, and it's called San Choy Bao, and it is reminiscent of our Thai chili chicken lettuce wraps, which are amazing, and this just reminded me of that. It starts out with ground Italian sausage that has been browned and cooled. We're going to add minced garlic, diced red pepper, diced onion, matchstick carrots, minced ginger, sliced water chestnuts that have been drained, frozen peas, a bit of oyster sauce, hoisin sauce, sherry wine, Or there's a specific wine, it is called Shaoxing wine, but I couldn't find it, so we are using dry sherry. And low sodium soy sauce. We're gonna mix that around in the bag, get it into our freezer. When you go to cook this, you're going to just let it thaw, cook it up in a hot skillet or in a wok, and then you are going to put it on iceberg lettuce leaves and wrap it like that. And then you're gonna add chopped roasted peanuts, some sliced green onions, and some chili garlic sauce. You're going to just eat it like that, and if it's anything like the Thai chili chicken, you are going to just think you have died and gone to heaven. So I'm very excited to try this one, and I think you're gonna like it too. So these vegetarian stuffed peppers have been in the making for quite some time. This recipe first came across my desk easily 6 months ago, maybe more, and it is finally time to get a chance to try them. So we start out with our rice in the bag. We're going to add in minced onion, minced garlic, black beans that have been rinsed and drained, some drained kernel corn, lime juice, a bit of salt, some canned green chilies, and some taco seasoning. We'll mix that around in the bag to make sure that everything is evenly mixed. We're going to seal that up, and then we're going to add some Tex-Mex cheese to a medium-sized freezer bag, and then we'll staple those together so that you have almost everything that you need to make these. When you go to cook this, you are going to need some peppers, and you're gonna either cut them in half lengthwise so that you have two that you can put the stuffing into, or if they stand up okay, you can just cut the top off, and then you can fill it and then sprinkle the cheese on top. You put them on a baking sheet and then into your oven. These will cook for 20-25 minutes at 425, and that cheese will be all melty. And if they're anything like our other Tex-Mex stuffed peppers, you are going to just think that these are the best. I hope that they turn out and that we'll have a chance to have these again and that they'll end up in the club.
This pineapple fried rice can be a side dish or a meal on its own. It's so nice and colorful and also very tasty. So we've got our cooked, cooled rice, and then we're adding in some minced garlic, minced onion, diced red pepper, frozen peas, some pineapple tidbits that were drained, some sliced green onions, low sodium soy sauce, Chinese 5-spice, some raw unsalted cashews, and some chili garlic sauce or sriracha sauce. You can add more if you like things spicy and less if you don't. This one just cooks up really easily in a skillet, or it can even be heated in the microwave. It's a great one for single serve portions. What you would do for that is just mix everything together in a bowl and then put it into a microwave safe container or into quart-sized freezer bags if you're gonna cook it in a skillet. Along those Korean inspired flavor profiles that we seem to be doing a lot of this mega session is the new and exciting kimchi fried rice. So in our freezer bag, I have some cooked and cooled rice, some kimchi and the juice that is in the kimchi container, some garlic, gochujang paste is making an appearance again, and some sesame oil. I'm just gonna squish this together in the bag, combine it, and freeze that. This one can heat up in a skillet or in the microwave or in a stovetop pot, and I'm gonna top this with some black sesame seeds and some sliced green onions, and it's gonna be a great side dish, I'm thinking, but we'll have to let you know. We are getting down to it. Things are really like,
We're ramped up. We're in the home stretch.
we're in the home stretch. We still have the turkey vegetable chowder to make, and then we're gonna be making the invention. We're moving into the invention portion of the show. So we're gonna do that pork tenderloin. It's some kind of a maple something, whatever. We'll get to it. But we also ended up with a lot of leftover large chunks of carrots. And so I think this is just when I was doing the sheet pan meals, I just wasn't generous enough with them because I was trying to keep them for other recipes, and then we kind of got to the end and realized there are no other recipes. So we have a really, really good maple dill carrots recipe in the club. So I'm going to be making this into that. So I think it'll probably make 2 side dishes of what we have left. And in that same herb garden, I also have beautiful fresh dill, so that'll go in there and be great. And then I have leftover sweet potato and cubed. And again, probably for exactly the same reason. I just wasn't generous enough when adding it into recipes, or because the sweet potatoes we got were larger than usual or whatever. This is going to be a roasted butternut squash side dish that also has maple syrup in it. So I'm going to have the maple syrup out anyway for the pork tenderloin and the carrots. And so I'm just going to quickly whip together that side dish. It's delicious.
Do you have butternut squash?
Oh shoot. This isn't butternut squash. This is sweet potato. That's funny.
Quality control. It's a good thing.
It is towards the end of the day. What can I do with sweet potato?
You can make your sweet potato pie, but like your casserole.
But it needs to be cooked up first.
Sweet potato soup. I don't know if we have the rest of the right stuff for it, but it's been a while.
This would be about the right size for our sweet potato soup. Okay, I'm going to figure out, I think sweet potato soup calls for diced red pepper. I see some over there. We still have some. Okay, so maybe. Good thing you caught that. I'm like talking about butternut squash and it's not squash, whatever. Okay, I'm gonna go and grab the sweet potato soup recipe from the club and see if I've got everything. And if I do,
even if you don't,
happy accident.
You can cobble something together with it. Like,
totally.
We'll have the spices, and that's what it needs. It needs the spice profile.
Some kind of sweet potato soup is gonna happen with these, and then
this is
a mystery. We're not sure. So somehow, and I mean, I did the prep list and the shopping list, so it's on me. This is why, I know we keep like bringing up the club, but seriously, this is why you need the club. Because if I had been using the club and it generated my prep list and my shopping list, it wouldn't make mistakes, but I did. So
we don't know where it was supposed to go, so now we have all these peppers. Why don't we
slice
you could do like a chicken and peppers?
Yellow peppers. I do have some mushrooms, so I'm thinking I might throw together a stir fry. Like I have some sliced mushrooms left. We might end up with some onions. We're not sure because we have to see after the vegetable chowder what we end up with, and we might make that sweet potato soup. So I'm not sure. I mean,
you could chop them up and freeze them.
They could go. We could just eat them as a veggie tray type of thing over the weekend. So somehow these are going to get used. We don't waste anything around here, so these will get used. But this was a mistake. And speaking of that club that we keep harping on, we're going to give you another reminder to join now before the price goes up and you'll be locked in at that price forever. We would so love to have you. And also, we just get excited. We get excited about our own freezer filling up, and we get excited about yours filling up. And we love when you send us photos.
We do.
We love hearing your success stories. And we forward them to each other. And did you see that?
We gush about them, and sometimes we cry because they're really tender. And we do sometimes say that freezer meals are transformative, and it sounds like that's an over-exaggeration or we're being dramatic, but it really is true. People who learn to cook this way, it is such a lifesaver for so many people. So we really are excited to share this with you, but also go check out that club, because really this could be the thing in your life that you're actually missing and you just didn't even know it. These sheet pan teriyaki meatballs are probably something I'm gonna have for supper tonight with the pineapple fried rice, because they go really nicely together. And I didn't take anything out this morning for us to eat, so before they even get into my freezer, I'll just be cooking them up when I get home, and we'll have a lovely, lovely Asian flavored dinner. To make these sheet pan teriyaki meatballs, we're going to start out with our meatballs in the bag. We're going to add in some frozen broccoli florets, although you can use fresh if you would like to. We're going to add in chunks of peppers, some olive oil, a bit of salt and pepper, and some thick teriyaki sauce. We use a whole bottle in there. We really do prefer the thick teriyaki sauce. You can buy other teriyaki sauce that is thinner, it seems watery. We really like the thick one for this. So if you can find it, that's the one you should use. This is a sheet pan, so it just goes on your baking sheet. We like to use parchment paper, so cleanup is easy. And it's gonna take 20, 30 minutes maybe at 400, and you'll wanna serve it with rice, but we're gonna have the pineapple fried rice today with it. The turkey vegetable chowder is one that it just kind of looks like a plain old boring soup, and it is anything but plain or boring. So we love having this one. It kind of feels like a bit of a fall soup, because turkey, right? Fall or winter. But on those drizzly rainy days that might happen in the summer, you are going to be so happy to have this. Or when you're camping and it cools off in the evening and you're sitting around the fire and the chill comes and you want something to warm up with, this is going to be what you're going to want to go to. So we start out with our cooked and cubed turkey. You can use leftover turkey, but in this case, we bought some turkey breast, cooked it up, and then cubed it. And when I say we, Charlotte's daughter did it, because God bless culinary school. Man, has that been helpful for us. We love it. Then we add in some cooked and crumbled bacon, diced onion, carrots, cubed hash browns, and not a whole lot, some thyme, and it calls for rosemary, but we had some leftover rosemary from the steak bites from yesterday, so I used fresh rosemary today, even though I think in our overhead that we're showing you it's gonna have dried rosemary, but I just thought, oh, we have the rosemary, I'm gonna go ahead and use that today. It'll be that much fresher. We're adding in some pepper, some frozen kernel corn, cream corn, and chicken broth. Mix that up in your bag, and when you go to cook it, you can add in half a cup of sour cream mixed with a teaspoon of cornstarch, and that is going to give it this creamy texture, and it's also going to allow it to thicken. You're going to add it in near the end, just let it simmer long enough to let that cornstarch cook through, and man, serving this with some baking powder biscuits is probably peak turkey vegetable chowder. It's probably the best accompaniment that you can have with it.
For that extra pork tenderloin, gonna add it into a freezer bag and add in some maple syrup, soy sauce, minced garlic, and minced ginger. Just 5 ingredients, super simple, and this one just roasts up in the oven. For these leftover carrots, to make them into a side dish, I am splitting them between a couple of bags, adding in some olive oil, maple syrup, salt, pepper, and that fresh dill. Squish it all together and get that in the freezer, and these can roast up whenever we need an easy and tasty side dish.
So this is the sweet potato soup that we put together because we had that leftover sweet potato, and we kind of did a run through of the recipe, and sure enough, we had everything that we need to make 2 of them. So Charlotte and I each get to have a sweet potato soup to take home, and what a treat it is, because it seems like forever that we have had it, and just a nice surprise to get to add it into this really great list of meals that we have. So to make the sweet potato soup, you're going to start out with your sweet potato that has been peeled and diced. We're going to add in diced onion, celery if you would like to, minced garlic. We're adding in olive oil, paprika, turmeric, cayenne pepper, cinnamon, a bay leaf, some diced red pepper, soy sauce, chickpeas that have been rinsed and drained, there's your protein, and some diced tomatoes. Now you would want to add 3 cups of vegetable broth. We just didn't happen to have any. That was the only thing that was missing. We could have used chicken broth with it, but what we did was we just wrote a little note on our bag that said add 3 cups of vegetable broth. This one is a wonderfully fresh soup. When you go to cook this, it'll allow it to thaw. You're going to bring it to a boil and then drop it to a simmer for 20-ish minutes. Right before you go to serve this, you're going to chop up some fresh basil and add it in there, give it another 5 minutes of simmering, and then serve it. That basil just zing, gives it a whole nother layer of flavor, and I'm just really happy that we have this one.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
We did it. I am so happy. We are done and not even exhausted. Like I might crash later. I was just saying to Christy, but I feel pretty good still.
Usually by this point in the day, I actually change my shoes. These shoes are very old. They are better than nothing. But after a while, my feet get a little sore, so I change into slippers. But I don't feel the need to do it today. I think we've just gotten so fast at things. We have such good systems that it's not even trouble.
One thing that we did this time that is different than usual is that I ordered the recipes. Usually we always do proteins together. So the raw chicken together, the ground beef together, you guys saw that. But we don't usually have a list of like, we're gonna do this recipe and then this and then this and then this. And it did two things by putting them in order. One is I had the recipes exactly in order. So then instead of thumbing through the pile of recipes, we were actually just pulling the one off the top and pulling the one off the top. And it saved, again, just increments of time, which add up.
It all adds up.
And we weren't making any decisions. There was no like, what should I do next?
Right, or...
Should we move to the sausage or the vegetarian?
You kept out your prep list. And that saved us a couple of times, because if you've been here before, you have seen us use all of something and then realize later that we need it for something else.
We did that recently in a live cooking class, last month's live cooking class.
And somebody caught it.
Yes, and they were like, wait, you need that for this other thing later, because we didn't realize. And so thankfully,
right.
Thank you. You know who you are. But yes, this time we were able to go, okay, it says only 4 sliced peppers.
And that looks like 4 sliced peppers. So
and this is, so it was easy. That helped. The little minced garlic hack, we'll start that on day one.
Why did we not do that years before? That's
Next time.
So funny.
Yeah, just the little things. So we continue to learn. If you've got tips, share them, because we're always learning and always willing to do more. We are going to share our final total with you in a second here.
I was ready to do a drum roll, but...
We are also going to tell you that I'm going to make it to the airport in time.
Yeah, you are.
I have time to actually pack snacks for our little guy, go and pick him up, and then get to the airport in time to surprise my husband. So I don't think he has any idea, unless he saw our Instagram live.
Whoopsies.
Where we didn't say what I was doing, but we did say we were trying to do things for a surprise. So maybe. But he's on a plane, so maybe he hasn't seen it. Maybe. Regardless, I'm excited to be able to do that, and we pulled it off.
Yeah, we did.
I am going to leave Christy and her daughter with some cleanup, but...
That's no big deal. There's 2 of us. It won't take long.
There was that one time where you had to miss the whole second day because you were at a funeral, so...
Do you remember the time my husband said he had frostbite on his foot? He sent me a picture of a frostbitten foot and said, I have frostbite.
You were so stressed.
And I just dropped everything and I went to the door, and by the time I got to the door, he texted me back and said it was a joke. It was somebody else that he was working with. And he is that guy. He's a teaser. And so, but I was ready to walk out.
Upset. Like,
and I would have...
your stomach just did the thing.
It did the thing.
So we've got each other's backs.
We totally do.
You should totally find a freezer meal bestie. If you're in our Facebook group, we do have a post where you can find people that are in your area, so you might be able to meet someone that way, or just enlist your mom, your sister, your daughter, your neighbor, your complete
dad,
stranger
your
in
bestie.
the parking lot.
It doesn't have to be a woman. There's men in your life that cook and that would be willing to do this. Actually, we have a lot of men in the club, and they leave great feedback. There's lots of comments, so
I appreciate it.
Ladies thing, that's for sure.
Oh, we need to get our. I was like, well, I'm missing something. We have to do the total. So we're gonna show you the freezer. You remember what it looked like at the beginning of yesterday. You remember what it looked like at the end of yesterday and this morning, and we'll show you what it looks like now with our grand total of 107 meals.
Yay, yay us. Good job. Well done, madam.
that's the very first time we've ever handshaked in all the years we've known each other.
Neither of us are real huggers. There have been times where it's been warranted, but
sometimes only a hug is warranted.
yes. But otherwise, yes, we aren't super touchy-feely, but a handshake felt appropriate. Isn't it silly? That's so funny.
So there you go. Thank you so much for being with us. Check out the links in the description below. You will find the recipes for anything that is tried and true. For the ones that we experimented with, you will not find the recipes yet because the verdict is not yet in. You will also find the link to the Freezer Meals 101 Club. You can find our Facebook group. You can find all the things, but definitely the best way to get your freezer stacked is to join the club. We hope to see you there. Happy cooking.
Bye, guys.